Okay, amazing. So, Cherie, I work on satellite internet. Every now and again, it has the habit of dropping. It'll just go on to another satellite. So you just wait about a minute and a half and things progress. You learn how to be slightly intuitive with the sequencing when that happens. Today we're going to begin resting back on some cushions, or you can choose to just sit down in your easy pose. If you like, you can rest back in some cushions. And if you do choose to rest back into your cushions, it's quite amazing. You can just pick anything up off a couch if you're at home, anything that you have, if you have any cushions around. And when you rest back into cushions, it can feel really good to do this because it helps to open up the lungs. So you can always bring the soles of the feet together, lie back and just rest into the support, and it can feel amazing. If you're not using the cushions today to begin our opening meditation, then you can just sit in your easy seated position. Beautiful. And I'll just give you a moment to get completely comfortable on your cushions. Make sure that your head is well supported, please. And we will begin with the breath. If you wish, soles of the feet together, knees open. This just opens the top of the pelvis, which is really amazing for preparation for birth. Taking a few normal breaths in and out. The breath that we are working with today, I like to call straw breathing. We'll do a check-in with the breath before we begin. So beginning from now, you're going to count your breath in and out for a full minute. So begin your count with your next breath in. And this is called your baseline beginning. Just continuing to count the breath, and in breath and an out breath is one count. Baseline beginning is going to give you a lot of information. Continue to count. You can also listen to the breath as you're doing this, whether it's jagged or you're grasping for the breath or anything else that comes up for you. And you can stop your count now, whether you're at halfway through the breath or at the end of the breath, it doesn't really matter. Just remember that count. This is your baseline. Imagine that you have a long, light straw in your lips. And you're going to breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth into this imaginary straw, working gently so as not to push the breath out. When you take your next breath in, lightly touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth to prevent yourself from breathing in through your mouth. It'll be in through the nose and breathing out of the lips. At the end of each exhalation, concentrate your attention on allowing the inhalation to arise spontaneously. When the diaphragm initiates the inhalation, it will feel like a gentle bounce up through the center of your body. If you can allow this to happen, the inhale breath will feel effortless. But we usually don't trust this to happen, and we jump in prematurely by initiating the inhalation with our upper chest and shoulders. In through the nose, long, soft breaths out of that imaginary straw. If you wish, you can imagine that the exhale breaths are like a golden filament of silken thread, slowly and softly moving from the lips. With the clarity of your imagination on each exhale, you can see this thread drifting away from the lips, undulating, sparkling and shimmering, and all of the stresses, the concerns, the fears, gently blowing them out on the golden thread. You are retraining your diaphragm to work correctly. Whether you're a yoga teacher or a breathwork practitioner, we often have to come back to this breath to retrain the diaphragm, even after a particularly busy day. A lot of activity where we're forgetting to breathe. And we'll complete our last exhale breath here with a gentle return to your natural breathing in and out of the nose. Notice what is different for yourself. We'll again count the breaths over the course of a minute. So beginning now, count your breath in and out. You may notice that the inhale breath and the exhale breaths have lengthened. Remember that after a busy day or when anxiety weighs heavy on the shoulders, it can take a while to come into a gentle breathing pattern. Be patient with yourself. There's no hurry or chasing a breath. Simply be with what is arising for you. You can stop your count now and notice the difference between the count at the beginning and at the end of your breathing practice. Gently placing your hands over womb space. And now that the body is relaxed, the breath even, we can move into a place of trust. We have millions of years of intuitive knowing held in our DNA and the cells of our bodies about how to grow a baby and give birth. We need only to learn to trust this knowing. Birth happens best through placing more awareness on our hearts than in our heads. This is a time of profound experiences. The intensity of it creates the ability to love more deeply. And so we can choose to drop the fear and instead love birth, embrace it, look forward to it, embracing the fullness of it. And this, it's the same as loving life. This is what can liberate you. So dive into the experience with your whole heart. And this will transmute your experience of giving birth, welcoming each intense sensation that arises, and you will get through to the other side with a feeling of deep love and accomplishment. Gently roll on over to your side. Take a few moments lying on your side, maybe 2 or 3 breaths. And only when you feel ready will you come up onto all fours. you can keep a cushion right behind you, one of your cushions. You can toss the other away. Keep one cushion right behind you. And then come onto your knees, tuck your toes under and sit down on your toes, keeping one cushion right behind you. You can think of this as labor preparation, when the discomfort really begins to arise through the feet. Reach your arms up, take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, swing the right arm underneath the left, wrap and twist. Squeeze the elbows together and lift them up to almost your eye line sight, or wherever you can lift them up to. Press the palms together strongly or grip your thumbs and breathe full and deep into the back of the shoulder girdle. If it gets too intense to be sitting on the balls of your feet with your toes tucked under, you can always release the feet. That's it, Cherie. Or you can breathe deep and stay here for a little bit longer. Thousands of nerve endings in the feet. We are activating them. In doing so, we also clear the meridians in the body. So stay with me another 2 breaths. If you do not walk bare feet, your feet are going to be having one fat conversation with you right now. So listen to their complaints, because the feet deserve to complain if you're not walking bare feet. Lift your hips, unravel the feet, unravel the arms, and relax. We will do this for another round. Again, if it is unbearable to tuck your toes under, sit on your heels and concentrate on your shoulders. If you're able to, lift your hips, tuck your toes under. Even if you begin like that and then come off the balls of the feet at some stage, that is okay. We have to train the feet over time. So don't be alarmed if only a few breaths and you're at your breaking point. Reach both arms high. Take the left arm underneath the right, wrap, twist, Garudasana arms, eagle arms, lift the elbows up, squeeze the elbows together slightly, and this will engage the trapezius muscles and all the muscles across the back as well. Focusing on those big breaths in and out. Ujjayi can be great to use, but just remember that in pregnancy, the Ujjayi heats the body as well. So if you become too hot, let the Ujjayi go and come into a calmer, slow, and softer breath than the Ujjayi. Ujjayi is taken through the back of the throat in a slightly sibilant hissing sound. For most yogis, this is a very natural breath, but in pregnancy, just listen into the body and see when you can feel the heat. 3 or 4 more breaths here. I talk to distract you from the intensity of the feet. And gently release the arms. Now this time, bring your hands in front of you and place the tops of your feet on the cushion behind you. Your ankles are free of the ground and the cushion. Sit back onto your heels and let your ankles stretch, sitting on the top of the cushion. If you wish for a little bit more intensity, you can bring your hands to the ground. Curl around the uterus so that you don't overstretch the top muscles. And then if you wish, you can lift the knees slightly, but continuing to curl chin towards chest. And this is only if it is accessible with the cushions. For most of us, just sitting with a little bit of elevation of the feet will be enough. Another 2 breaths. Beautiful. Remove the cushions and come onto all fours. We'll take some cat and cow rolls first. I would like to also continue to engage the joints of the body so that we get into everything today. So tuck your toes under, press into the mounds of the toes, lift your tailbone, pull into your hands as though you're squeezing your hands towards your knees as you stretch your chest forward and look up. Exhale, untuck the feet, temple the fingers by pressing them into the ground and mounding the palms, and then follow with the spine mounding up between the shoulder blades, relax the neck. Flat palms, tucked toes, grip and pull into the palms. Inhale, slide the chest open and forward, gaze to the sky. Exhale, and tuck the toes, working into the ankles and then the knuckle joints as we round the spine. One more time. Flat palms, tucked toes, press into the palms, engage through the spine. And exhale, rounded palms, press into the tops of the feet, press into the fingertips. Beautiful. And then bring your palms back to ground. Find the edges of your mat with your toes. And then walk your hands back, lift your knees, and press up high onto the balls of the feet, taking the ankles forward. Then bring your hips down between your heels. Your ankles are lifted up super high to begin with. We're working into the ankles still. Very important in pregnancy to work these joints. Now you can keep your fingertips on the ground, or you can squeeze your knees around your shoulders and bring your palms together. We're also engaging through the pelvic floor muscles here. Take 3 calm breaths. You're lifting your heels as far as you can. The toes are spread. You're getting a good stretch through the heels. And then fingertips come to the ground and gently roll your feet down to earth. If you want, you can rock a little backwards and forwards. We're working with a slightly more therapeutic practice today. So really feel into each part of the body that you move into. 3 deep breaths, palms in prayer. Press the elbows into the inner knees, elongate the spine. Lift the chest towards the thumbs. No hard shifting eyes, just a soft gaze in front of you with relaxed jaw. Place your palms to mat, lift your hips, heel toe your feet hips distance. Inhale, sweep your arms out to the side, rise. And exhale, arms down by your side. Samastiti Tadasana. It doesn't matter where you stand in your mat, anywhere will do. We're going to do an asymmetrical stretch for the hamstrings. Take your props, books, yoga mat, yoga props, whatever you have, you need 2. And place one on the left side of your mat. I'll place you for this to start with. Step your left foot onto the block. Step your right foot exactly hips distance. Make sure your heels are not staggering. So when I put another prop behind, I can see that my heels are in line with each other and my feet are hips distance apart. Then from here, bend both knees. Now I'm going to show you from a different angle. My feet are hips distance apart. I'm holding my other prop. Bend both knees and flap like your tail feathers. So stick your butt out slightly and bend both knees. One foot is on the block, one foot is on the ground, heels are level. Feet slightly wider than that, Cherie, because you don't want to misjudge the size of your hips, you know you're a woman. And then extend the block forward, bring the block down to the ground, whatever you're using, book or whatever. And then I like to place the heels of my hand and take my fingers over the cliff of the block or book. Straighten your right leg, keep your spine long. Begin to straighten your left leg, the foot on the block or book. Keep the spine long, but relax your neck. Breathe into the back of the legs. You might notice that you're also turning on and lengthening through the iliopsoas muscle down the left side of your body as well. Fall into even breathing. Feel the in-breath and the out-breath as long and gentle and even. Just noticing the sensations that are arising for you. If the hamstring is screaming and there's a bit of a tyranny of the hamstrings in the body from sitting too much, you might need to soften the left knee or the right knee slightly as well. But try not to buckle the knees completely. Keep reaching into the stretch. 2 more breaths. And then we're going to try and find the ITB. So take your prop that's underneath your hands and walk it over to the right side of your body as far as you can. Stretch the palms away with that prop. The tendency is going to be to lean into the right foot. See if instead of leaning too much into the right foot, you can press back a little bit of weight into the left foot and then relax your neck, stretching your arms out and breathing into the intercostal muscles on the left rib basket. Beautiful. Deep, full breath. Keep pressing a little bit more weight into that left side. Walk your block back to center. If you want, you can flip the book or block all the way down, or you can lose it completely and come into a deeper forward fold. Just 3 or 4 breaths in your depth, really exploring the intensity of the stretch now. Bend your knees, step your left foot off the block to the outside of it. Slide the block to the inside of the right foot, but don't step on it yet. Place your palms above your knees, slowly, slowly round and rise up. Roll the shoulders down, relax your arms by your side, close your eyes and notice. Working with the hamstrings also allows us to release contractions and messiness in the mind, I find, but that could be a personal experience. Step your right foot onto the block. Bend your knees, reach for your other block, highest level, and then place your hands on that block or book. Straighten the left leg, should be easy peasy. Straighten the right leg. And just hang out here for a little bit. Now, this is where you'll really notice asymmetries in the body. How did the left side behave when the foot was elevated? How is the right side behaving now that the foot is elevated? Was there more tension on one side or the other? Tendency is to roll forward slightly onto the balls of the feet, press the hips back, and keep bringing a little bit more weight into the heels to find the fullest expression through the hamstrings. Feel into the movement of the breath through the body. If there's anywhere that feels cut off from the breath, see if you can bring attention to that area and allow the breath to feed life into any areas that feel slightly dull. Could just be our brains today, who's to know? When we starve our brain of oxygen, we also have a rise in anxiety levels. The brain needs oxygen to feel good. 2 more breaths here. Walk the block over to your left side. Again, pay attention to how much weight you're shifting onto the left foot and see if you can keep the legs nice and long and press weight more into the right side. You'll be able to billow the breath into the right rib basket, should feel good. Beautiful. And from here, bring the block back to center. And then if you wish, flip the book or block down and deepen into a forward fold. And now you're finding your fullest expression, really feeling into the stretch. Bend the knees, step your right foot off the block, place your hands just above the knees and begin to rise. Roll the heads of the shoulders up. And then relax down, arms by your side. Feel into the full structure of the spine, side body, feet firm on the earth, and just enjoy that extra length you've created in your body. When we release the hamstrings, we release the psoas. When we lengthen the psoas, we also build our posture in a better way. Beautiful. Said that clumsily, but there you go. Take your two props and stand with your feet hips distance apart. You can hold the books from the top or the props from the top. Yep, that's it. Bend your knees, bring the props down and step your right foot back. Now, place the props on the inside of the left foot. Left foot is on the outer edge of the mat. And your props are shoulder distance or slightly wider separated. Press firmly into the props, squiggle the right toes firmly and pull up into the kneecap. Take a deep inhale and start to sink your hips down and then press the chest forward and look up. Really strengthen that right leg. Don't weaken it. Don't bend the knee either. Exhale, press back, roll the right heel down towards the ground and bow deep. Keep the blocks as they are. Inhale, press up high onto the ball of the right foot, bend the left knee, sink the hips low, keep the right leg supercharged, radiate the chest up and forward, look back, feel into the iliopsoas on the right side, exhale, slowly take it back, right heel deepens towards the ground, directly behind the right toes to stretch out the Achilles. Once more, inhale, bend the left knee, deepen down, stretch it out. Keep the strength of the right leg while you do this. And exhale, press it back. Keep that right heel directly behind your toes. Flip your props down to almost flat. Walk them forward as far as you can. Feel your shoulder blades spreading. Your right leg is engaged and straight. And then baby on the inside of the left thigh. Begin to fold deeper. Feel the broadness through the shoulders as you do this. Try not to hunch. If you find yourself hunching, you can always spread the props slightly wider. Beautiful. And now that we've stretched everything out nicely on this side, we're going to work into the left hip with a little bit of freedom of movement. Bend the left knee and step the foot off your mat, heel toe it off the mat. Plant your palms firmly on the ground. You've lost the props now. And just begin to sway, swing, shimmy, pulse backwards and forwards into that left hip. Feeling great pleasure in your body and everything that it does for us, carrying us all of these years through our lives. And just letting it know, good on you, body. Keep letting it know it heals us. Beautiful. And then from here, straighten up the legs, roll that right heel directly behind the toes again, straight behind the toes. Anchor firmly into the palms, press back through the hips. Sway slightly to the left side, so allow the hips to move slightly to the left as you bring a little more weight into the left foot. Relax your neck and feel your breath really filling up your silhouette. Lovely. Walk your hands back slightly, heel toe your left foot back onto the mat. Spin your right heel onto the ground in a warrior one foundation. For pregnancy, you definitely want your left foot on the left side of the mat, the right foot on the right, so that you make space for your hips. Once you've traced an outline of feet to earth and your foundation is secure, Phoenix wings to flight. Stretch your fingers to reach into fascial swades. Inhalation, rise. Sweep the arms up as you do so. Draw the arms back, feel the front tissues of the body move, and then squeeze and drag between the shoulder blades as you draw down through the elbows. And these are your Phoenix wings. Inhale, bow. Caitlin, you know all of this, but just saying it for Cherie. Exhale, draw back and down, really feeling into the mobility of the shoulders. If you felt cramped up or behind a computer all day, this is for you. You're moving into your extensions and you're just releasing all the tension of the day. Take it through your final spin. Beautiful. Hook your thumbs, spread your fingers, graze your arms past your ears, reach up. The tendency is to overextend the lower back, to sort of hollow it. Pull your pubic bone up towards the base of the uterus to protect the linear albus so you don't get separation. And then elongate and draw back through the arms. Keep anchoring firmly into that right heel and press the ball of the left foot forward. You're feeling the legs, the muscles on the legs working. There's nothing floppy. Beautiful. Left forearm to the left thigh. Keep the feet in the same frame and the legs. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and then take it back and around purposefully. Let the rib basket spin as you do this. Keep finding your foundation. If you catch a wobble, think about your feet and you'll suddenly find that you're in your center. On the third pass, half bind that right arm behind you. Look past your right shoulder, deepen into the left knee. Make sure that you're not collapsing the left shoulder, it's drawn into the socket. And softly drape your head over your left shoulder. Draw the right shoulder away from the neckline and breathe deep and full into that right neck. Feel the stretch. Legs are still holding you well. Beautiful. Release your right arm, sweep it forward, reach both palms high to the sky. Press up onto the ball of your right foot. Shift your weight forward, capture your right knee in your right palm, and find your center. Take that right knee out to the right side, reach for your ankle, bring the foot into the inner left thigh, and then take both arms back to the sky, Vrikshasana, tree. Again, no hard shifting eyes, just a sense of ease. Pick your right knee up, gently step it back, immediately pivot on the toes, feet are parallel on the axes, heels are level. Interlace your palms, release the index fingers, squeeze the base of the palms and press back through the shoulder blades. Lift and open through the front body. Exhale, deepen from the creases of the hips into a forward fold. Feel the arms spin through the gates of the shoulders and find your depth. Tendency may be to fall into the balls of the feet. See if you can center or weight your hips between the arches of your feet. Magnify the breath through the whole body for your last two. Release your fingertips to the ground. Swivel your right toes to face the corner of your mat and pick your right heel up. Glide your hips down and sink onto your right heel. The heel is lifted off the ground still. Walk, so your right knee floats off the earth as well. Walk both hands down the inner line of the left leg. Once you've reached as far as you can with your fingertips, then allow baby to settle between your thighs. And finally, bow your head. Make sure that you're flexing that left foot so that you get a good deep stretch. The left toes face the sky. If it's too intense for you on the ball of your foot, gently bring the right knee down and flip the toes and sit back onto your heel. But over time in pregnancy yoga, you will find that your feet will get stronger and stronger, because weak feet, it's very difficult to find the arches post-birth if you don't keep them strong during pregnancy. If you keep the arches strong in pregnancy, you'll find that the integrity remains and you're able to move quickly and swiftly back into your exercise practice post-birth. Gently bring the right knee down, shift the weight of the hips forward, and you're in a low lunge. Again, dynamic movement. Sweep your arms high. Exhale, draw the arms back, straighten your left leg, radiate the chest forward, spread your wings back and bring the heart down. Inhale, glide your hips forward, sweep your arms high, breathe light into the front body, and then hips back, legs straight, arms reach behind you and bow. One more time, inhale, and exhale, take it back, purposeful movement. And finally, into your low lunge, either both hands to the ground if your pelvis is sore, otherwise interlace your palms, flip the interlace to the sky, and feel your way in. Gently bring your hands down to the ground. And from here, sickle your right foot off to the right side of the mat slightly. Walk your hips back, sit down on the inside of your right foot. Swing your right knee out. Catch your right ankle with your right hand. Slide your left arm down the length of the left leg. Keep holding the right ankle strong, and then begin to tilt slightly to the left. Feel the ribs open here and look over your right shoulder. Then drape your head over your left shoulder. Another neck stretch on the right side. If you wish, roll your hand over the ball of the left foot and draw it towards you nice and strong, bend the left elbow slightly. Again, you'll feel everything. One more breath. Slowly reach the right arm up, extend, and bring the right arm all the way down or parallel to your left leg. You choose. It depends on your flexibility today. Beautiful. Inhale, gently rise. Bend your left knee, slide onto your right heel. Place your right palm on the ground behind you. 3 deep breaths as you lift baby to the heavens. Pelvis elevates. A 3-point back bend, beautiful for pregnancy, strengthening the spine, opening the heart space, finding a little bit of opening through the uterine muscles as well, particularly around ligaments. And gently come on down. Beautiful. Take child's pose for 3 to 4 deep breaths. Coming onto the knees, opening the knees wide, melting into child's pose. And just be there. You need to the breath out. Beautiful. Coming onto all fours. Cat and cow. If you want rolling cat and cow, big sensuous movements. This means that when you look up, you'll roll the hips up. Rib basket will go along to the right. Head relaxed. And take 3 big rolls. One direction. And the opposite direction. Lovely. And to a downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, toes tuck under. To protect the linear elbow, particularly when baby gets bigger, please round the spine, drawing baby up into the spine slightly, then lift the knees, and then press back and straighten up into your down dog. This just helps so that as the weight of baby gets bigger and bigger in the belly, it doesn't just push into the abdominal area, separating that fascial tissue from the sternum down to the pubic bone. Instead, you've got a little bit of control in how you move the body into certain poses so that we can avoid any separation. Look at your right palm. Place the right palm next to the left. Step your right foot to the front of the mat, outer edge of it. Pick up your props, highest level of your books or your yoga blocks. Anchor them firmly onto the inside of that right leg, and then firm up your left leg, super strong. Bring the hips down as you press firmly into the ball of the left foot. Peel the heart open, toss the gaze back. And exhale, roll the left heel directly behind the toes. Slowly straighten the right leg and bow down deep. Really absorbing these stretches. 2 more of these pulsations. Take them slow. Breathe deep. Feel everything. There's no reason on earth to rush or hurry. You're completely in your body, exploring everything, not only the sensations in the body, but any fluctuations of the mind. Finally, when you're here, you can drop the blocks down to a lower level and then stretch them forward as far as you can. And Caitlin, give me a little nod if I've got you. Here we go. Okay, we took a lovely long stretch in that pose in the wide pyramid. So from there, let me just put it back onto this, onto Spotlight. Apologies. There we go. Lovely. So from this lovely long stretch in pyramid, bend your knee. Heel toe your right foot out to the side. And now that we've worked into the stretches, we can shimmy out that hip and get the blood flow into that right side. Big circles, backwards, forwards, around, doing whatever feels intuitive and good to you. Nice. So good. And then straighten up that right leg once again. Plant the hands firmly into the ground. Shift the weight slightly into the right side and bow deeply. It'll just change the stretch a little bit differently than when you were in the wide pyramid, because now we move into the inner hamstring. There's 3 main strings to the hamstrings, and now we're in the inner thigh area. Beautiful. Heel toe your right foot back onto the mat. Set your foundation for warrior 1. Phoenix wings to flight, spread your fingers, and then begin to rise. That spread of the fingers is important because you can think of the fascia as a fabric, a gossamer fabric that encases all the muscles and all the tissues of the body, and it's just beneath the surface of the skin, a lot of that fascia, taking your flights here. And when you stretch it out through muscular engagement, it loves it because it hydrates the fascia. Fascia can't stretch if the muscles aren't engaged. So it needs that end point to move into. And finally, hook your thumbs and reach the arms high. Raise them past the ears. Be mindful if you're either spinning your belly over your pubic bone or you're hollowing the lower back. Gently lift the pubic bone slightly. This just centers the pelvis. And from here, find even breath. Beautiful. Right forearm to the thigh, 3 big sweeps of the left arm. Working into those shoulders. We spend a lot of time in front of computers and we want to work it out. Not everybody, but a lot of us have to. So just working into any areas of the shoulder that you feel needs it. And these lymphatic movements so good for pregnancy. Final round. Take your left arm back in a half bind and drape your head over your right shoulder. Keep deep in the right knee. Press into the outer rim of the left foot. Still continuing to engage the muscles in the legs. Beautiful. Inhale, release the left arm, rise. Press onto the ball of your left foot. Slowly draw that left knee towards you and grip it. Find your midline first. You are centered and in balance. As you take the left knee out, left ankle, lift it to the inner right thigh, and then reach the left arm back up to the sky. And simply settle. Bring your attention to the sound of your breath. Moving into our wide-legged forward fold. Bend the right knee slightly, pick the left knee up, swing the leg back, and step it. Rotate on the feet. Check that your feet are level with each other. And this time, reach both arms high, take a deep breath through the central channel of the body, and then extend the palms forward as far as you can. Touch the ground with the palms, elongate the spine, caterpillar the fingertips forward, press back through your hips, and then release your ribs and head. Feel all the way into the armpits. Again, you're taking the breath into your full silhouette. Walk your palms back. Swivel your left toes to face the corner of your mat. Pick your left heel up. Gently move on over to that left heel and flex your right foot. In other words, lift the toes to face the ceiling. Walk both hands down the inner line of that right leg and take a bow. Really working into the stretches today to just get rid of those contractions and all the discomfort feelings. Walk your hands back and gently swivel that left knee down to the ground. Hips move forward. Phoenix wings to flight again. Feel your way into the low lunge first. And then sweep your arms. Straighten the right leg. Draw the arms back and down. Spread your wings back. Float the chest forward. Bow. Twice more. This challenges the balance a little bit. It gets easier the more often you practice it. And this is because we're continuously bringing ourselves back to center. Baby becomes our center of gravity as well. And finally, deepen low lunge, Anjaneyasana, interlace the palms, reach for the sky. Fingertips come to ground. Shift your weight back. Sickle the left foot out slightly. Keep moving the hips back and sit down on the inside of the left heel. Swing the left knee out. Grip your left ankle. Flex your right foot. Slide your right arm down the length of the leg. Rotate the left rib basket open. Try not to collapse forward. Feel space from clavicle to clavicle. And then lean over to that right side. Still gripping the ankle, taking another good stretch through the left neckline. Getting rid of all that tech neck. And coming into this variation of Paravrita Janashishasana, you'll find that when you release your left ankle now and slowly reach your left arm over, maybe gripping your right toes, you'll find so much space in the body, maybe a surprising amount of space as we've elongated and opened up all the tissues into the side body as well. And when we release the neck, we also release the intercostals. It's a weird little relationship that goes on there. Gently arise. Take a moment to feel and notice. Bend your right knee, slide your foot. Gently sit down on your left heel. Place your left palm on the ground behind you. And then rise up and find your fullest expression through your front body. If it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Stay down. Gently, softly, come on down. And once again, into child's pose. Relax. We'll take melting heart before we move into our relaxation for the body of light meditation. Lift the hips as you come onto all fours. Slide your palms forward to the corners of your mat and spread your fingers, rotating the fingers externally outwards slightly. Press into the heels of the hands. And then feel like you're spreading through your seat bones. Slowly draw your chest down. Maybe it touches the earth, maybe it doesn't. If it's too intense for you, come onto the forearms and relax your head. Gently lift the chest, slide your palms back. And then set up for your relaxation pose. Back on your cushions or side lying, whatever feels right for your Shavasana. If you're still in early stages, you might choose to have a Shavasana lying flat on your back like you usually do. It is entirely up to you. And I'll give you a minute to get into your relaxation pose before we begin our body of light. Once you are in your shape of relaxation, focus on the natural rise and fall of the breath. You can feel your belly soft, warm, giving, open and relaxed. You can visualize baby rising and falling with the breath. Take 3 more deep breaths in. The out breath longer than the in breath. As you bring awareness again into your exhalation breaths. Become aware that with each breath, you aren't only taking in air, but also prana. Prana is life, energy, and you can visualize this prana as a brilliant, all-encompassing platinum white light. And with each inhale, see this white light softly enter your nostrils. This is the eternal breath flowing down your body, through the throat and the air passages. There are thousands of tiny alveoli sacs in the lungs. And on the back of this breath, feel this prana, this light breath move into these thousands of sacs in the lungs. And in a miraculous moment, the breath, the air, becomes oxygen in the blood. See this oxygen carried on this light, pumped through the body, bringing extra oxygen to the placenta. And you can see this light percolating through the body and surrounding your baby. In a wave of light, it flows down through soft belly and around baby, through your hips, your thighs, your knees, your shins, calves, ankles, right down into the soles of your feet. Feel the soles of your feet very wide and open, radiant with light. Feeling the energy flow to the tips of your toes, into all the spaces between your toes. Feel even your toenails growing. Your attention comes back into the breath, the light winds of the breath. Again, visualizing this white dancing light flowing softly down into your thighs. Energizing the legs that carry you in the world for your sacred work. And then feel this light again moving through the lungs, and this time to the heart. Flooding out through the heart space, shoulders, into your arms, elbows and wrists. And perhaps you can feel your palms capable and glowing, open and receiving, radiant with the light. Your focus comes back to the breath. And watch this wave of light now streaming up through your neck, your throat, into your jaw. Moves through the gums and teeth, through your tongue, into your ears. Ears are alert yet relaxed. Watching this wave of white light moving through the sinuses and nostrils, through the eyes. Your eyes are soft. Your eyes are light. Your eyes rest in a sea of liquid light. And the skin around your eyes is soft and porous and yielding. Light moves into the space between the brows of the forehead. Feeling the glands of the body nourished by this light, the pineal and pituitary, the master glands that organize in the most beautiful way for your pregnancy. Be aware of the light moving softly through your scalp, nourishing the root of every hair on your head. And then you can take your mind deep into your mind and feel the prana flushing through your brain, washing through every neuron and thought process. You are now in a place of deep gratitude. Feeling this light moving around your baby now, surrounding him or her, protective aura of energy and love, feeling baby secure in your own world. You can feel the space between you and your baby, visualizing the light again encircling your baby, keeping both of you safe, simultaneously connected and yet separate. You are a light being. We choose to walk in the light. And as you breathe out now, letting go of all shadows, you are bathed in vitality, peace, and well-being. The choice to breathe in with a sense of freedom and to breathe out with a sense of release. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Namaste.